set with attendance for?
Yeah, I'm just telling you that it has to be in the scholarship meeting.
Well, that's probably a part of that.
Yeah, they have the national.
And they're coming right now. Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to accept the August 25th, 2022 school board meeting minutes. Motion by Lynn, second. Robin, any errors, omissions? Seeing none, roll call please.
Elaine? Abstain. Lynn?
Yes.
Tasha? Yes. Phoebe? Yes. Andrew?
Yes.
Robin?
Yes.
Ava?
Yes.
No Jody?
Correct, no trouble.
Pat?
Abstain.
Molly? Yes. Joel Bob?
Yes.
We have
Any public comments up there? Any board member comments? You don't get a choice.
Hey, the school year has started off well. It's been great going around to all the buildings and seeing all of our students. It was also wonderful to see all of our staff together here on opening day in one room together for the first time in like 3 years. Met with our ad team today to discuss successes that we've had so far, and then the kinks we need to work out from the first few days of school that we have every year. We actually joked a little bit today. It was nice to have some of the old things to work out again that we haven't seen in the last couple of years because of COVID. We also had 2 members of the performance evaluation professional growth team come and demonstrate the new program to the administrators. Past 2 weeks I attended a meeting on the McKinney-Vento, trying to figure out how we can best serve our homeless population. It's a concern across the state. Number of homeless families are becoming greater. They're being priced out of affordable housing. And under that law, the biggest difficulty for us is transportation, because even if they're in another town but they're supposed to be ours, we have to find a way to work on transportation. And if you take a look across the state on how districts are hurting with transportation, just trying to get the kids who are there to where they need to be, you throw that into the mix and it's quite difficult. So we have another meeting tomorrow with them from the state to try to help us with some ideas on that. I also just wanted to make the board aware that we are in the beginning of a challenge process for 2 of our books that are in the high school library. We have a community member and a parent who have started the complaint process. It may get to you at some point in time. If you take a look at the IJJ policy, at some point in time it could get to the board. But at this point in time, they've met with the librarian, they've written up what their concerns are, and now it goes to the high school principal. After that, then it would go to a review team that we would be putting together. Then after that, if they're not happy with the results of that, then they have the opportunity to bring it to the board. Just wanted to make you aware that that process has started.
Any questions for Scott? Andrew? Do you know what books are?
Yep, the books, 2 books are Genderqueer and White Fragility. White Fragility?
Anyone else? Okay, on to administrative reports. Chris?
Right, so I wanted to show where,
wanted to show where we're coming from. This is what we've had in the district. I think this says 1962 on it. And then this is, yeah, yeah, not quite that bad. And this is where we're at now. Now, they may not look a lot different to you, except for these are newer and cleaner, but I can promise you, we in the business like to say we have come out of the dark ages. This obviously is an analog phone. You know, all it could do was dial out. We couldn't even call other schools internally. We had to actually dial the school phone number and then get patched in. A little bit of a history, which you will probably care nothing about, but we do like to talk about it because it does affect. It's the reason we were kind of stuck in these old phones for so many years. There's always been this federal program called E-rate, which they give rural school districts money to stay up on technology so they don't fall behind bigger schools and districts. And for years, and of course Maine in whole is rural, so they would give you E-rate money, and many schools used to use that for telephones. Well, then the internet came around, and E-rate, in its ultimate wisdom, decided that you could no longer spend E-rate money on telephones. You could only spend it on internet, network, things to upkeep that. And so all of a sudden, that time period hit, and all the phones in school districts around Maine stopped. They, because to replace this number of phones is quite expensive. So luckily, because of the grant, the federal grant, we were able to upgrade the phones and still stay with the same. We're still with the same telephone company, and they'll service us. But this allows us to get better quality, as well as like this now we can call. We did have to move to a 4-digit extension, so now we can dial a 4-number extension. I can call the high school just by putting that 4-number extension in to whoever I want to call. I don't have to call an outside line. One of the great things about these is now your voicemail, because I'm in and out of my office a lot, and I'm not always by the phone, so I always have missed calls. Your voicemail now it'll feed to your email and give you either an audio or a transcribed message in it. And one of the features I love, which not a lot of other people seem to, but I can set my phone up, which I have, so it will actually forward to my cell phone. So if somebody calls this office number, it forwards to my cell phone rings, and I can either answer it or let it go to voicemail. The great thing about my cell phone is it'll tell me if it's spam or not. It'll say spam, or it'll say, coming from Texas. The weird thing I haven't been able to figure out is, for some reason, every time Scott calls me, it comes up as spam. But I'm sure we can get that fixed. But it just gives us so much more features that we haven't had in so long. So it'll be a great addition. Hopefully these will last as long as these did, and keep. Whoa, that's all right. We're not using those anymore. And keep us kind of current and give us the features we need. So that's that. I did want to one of the other things I do in the district. They change it every now and then, but currently it's called ELL. I'm the ELL coordinator, which is English language learners. Used to be ESL, English as a second language, but the current term is ELL. And we've always had somebody in the district that we pay a stipend to that can do the testing that's required by the state to see if the kid qualifies for ELL or not. And we've always had maybe one student in the district, 2 at the most, that might qualify, but they really speak English, but they just have, they have that other language that's there, so they, get a little extra help. But we're getting to the point now where we're actually having students move in who do not have English as a language currently. So that's something we're kind of looking at right now, and what we're going to do. We're very lucky. I was able to find a contractor named Leslie, who works with many of the districts around us, many rural districts. And basically we contract with her to come in and do the testing, to help with the parent meetings and things like that. And she has a lot of knowledge, and so she's going to help walk us through some of these kids that are registering and what we can do to best serve them. So it may be something you hear in the future if somebody talks about students coming in. We are starting to see that as a population, which many rural schools are starting to now. But it is a little bit new to us, and we're lucky we have a really good person that's going to help us through it.
Any questions? Thank you.
We're selling these really cheap if anybody needs an extra phone in their house.
Yeah, you probably sell me the broken one, you just draw it. Laura?
So, hi, good evening. Let me just put this down so I can see over it. Can everybody hear me okay? We're off to a good start in the food service department. Supply chain seems to be fairly steady right now, so we're encouraged by that, at least for the start. We are fully staffed currently, which is a huge bonus for us. So I'm really happy to report out on that. We knew that we were going to have some difficulties going into the first day of school as we had to transition back to students using their 4-digit PIN, which did have some long lines and wait times, but we worked through that quickly. The students are doing an excellent job of learning their numbers, as well as staff helping to expedite that process and speed those kids up in the line. So that's really good. And I do have some numbers if you're interested in them, because I found it quite interesting. I was comparing data today to a year ago on this day to what our numbers were. And for example, at the primary school today, we served 84% at breakfast time. A year ago, we served 70%. So I think one of the things that we have learned with COVID is, and having meals be free for students, they really have gotten comfortable with eating in the food service department in our cafeterias, and I think that's a really positive thing for us. At the elementary, it was 62% for breakfast and 58% a year ago. Middle school was 40%, 41% a year ago. High school, 41% a year ago was 51%. For lunch at the primary, we did 77%. A year ago, it was at 58%. In the elementary, it was 65% today, 59% a year ago. Middle school is just amazing to me, but at lunchtime, we did 67% of the students were fed. A year ago, it was 60%. High school is at 44%, and a year ago was 47%. So we know that there's some factors that are contributing to that, and we continue to look at those. I'm happy to report tonight that the update of the primary's refrigeration has been completed prior to our starting the school. That was a huge project. I'm ever so grateful that we didn't start it until the summertime. I continue to work on data collection for the free and reduced. Those are coming in slow, and we really need to get that information out, that we need to still have families submit that data, because it's going to affect other programs as we move through. The summer program this year ran continuously from the last day of school for 9 weeks, serving 9 different programs at 5 different locations throughout the district. And we served 2,194 breakfasts and 3,254 lunches. And I really want to thank the staff for all their hard work getting back to school this year. And they're all very pleased to have some of our barriers down and see faces and all of those things. So that's all I have to report tonight.
Any questions for Warren?
Thank you.
Thank you. Ken?
Good evening. It's certainly been an extremely busy summer for us, for the custodial part. As you probably all well aware, the first day after school ended. And June 30th, we had a major water leak at the middle school. That was basically caused from a valve being left on from some vendor that was doing some piping work for us. So it's an ongoing thing. We're going to be dealing with the insurance companies now. We'll be battling that out. But I think, you know, I think we're going to get through that fine. I think their insurance will cover it. But it was a fairly major project. It was approximately $50,000. And like I say, it was one room that was majorly damaged with cabinets. We had to replace floor tiles, sheetrock, books, anything in the room. I do give great thanks to Mrs. Ventrella for being understanding and helpful throughout the summer. I mean, it was actually June 30th, I'm sorry, August 30th, that we actually got everything moved back into that room. And so she could start on the first day of school. So thank you so much to her for her patience. Over the summer, as we talked about there, we did they did a repiping of the lot of heating system, which was part of the ESSER program, so that would help us a lot. We also replaced four floors in the middle school, from carpet to VCT, and one of them being the largest room we have was the band room. So those should be all set now, very, very good for many years. Also, there was many storage shelves built in the band room. If you get a chance to go by, you can see how much that's changed in just the last few months. Throughout the summer also, there was 280 feet of road constructed out behind the elementary school, and a small section right out back here. You'll see approximately 35 feet of road that was constructed. Hopefully this is going to be a good thing as far as controlling traffic and keeping traffic out of off Route 4 in the evening. So far I've heard good things about it. I think TJ was around, he can tell you how this one has worked. He says it's been working great. It keeps the handicap bus, separated from the public. I think those are both going to be working out fine. You'll see also up to the elementary school, it probably won't be until springtime, but there will be a new chain link fence along that road just to keep the kids separated. We do have a fence up there now, but it's just a plastic fence, but it does do the separation, so I think it will get us through. And the reason being is that everybody that I've contacted, or any of the major ones that we have contacted, are all booked right up. And they will try to get in this fall, but it looks like more it's going to be in early spring. Talking to Andrew just a minute ago there, another piece of my thing was that I remember I mentioned last year that there was a volunteer by the name of Stephen Hunter that came down to the central office and did that whole fence out front there and things, and very, very nice, kind person, and you guys instructed me to see about him and see if you would take some money for at least the materials. And it took me a while, but he finally did take it, and we gave it to him. And lo and behold, here back about 3 weeks ago, I was looking out front of the central office, and he was out there painting that concrete wall that goes along the front of the office and the old blue railing that was there. Speaking with him about that, and he said, you know, I just didn't feel like the whole place was done until I did this. So he actually started off, I hate to say it, but he actually started off with some kind of a lime green, and the ladies in the office just were shaking their head, and they did not like it. So I went out and asked him if he could change it, and he was very happy to. He had some paint from different projects, and he said, you know, this is something I really want to do. You guys just went above and beyond giving him stuff, you know, because we look at it that he went above and beyond donating his time, and believe me, he's very meticulous on how he done it. I can't say enough about the work that all the custodians have done over the summer. It seemed like the summer was, we come up with so many obstacles, and whether it be with the flooding of the room, or whether it be with the extra programs that we had programs that lasted in the schools till August 19th that really set us back. But you know, through all of this, I feel that the buildings look very good. You know, I hope you all get a chance to walk around sometimes and look at them. Do it soon, because they're going to start looking worse as time goes on. But I just feel that most of the guys did a fabulous job. And you know, and there again, it's with lack of employees, we started off with 5 out at the first of summer that we lacked. As the year began here, I thought we was gonna be in good shape, but in the last 3 weeks, we lost 2 more people, so we go back to searching again. Grounds crew, I think, did a remarkable job this year. There's more and more seem to be added on to them every year with extra fields and extra painting and things that they request. We got a new employee last year that I think has just done a marvelous job on the grounds all around up on this section of schools here. He's just gone above and beyond. The maintenance crew, can't say enough about them. You know, they're again, the short time that we had, they've done so much repairing in the buildings, building petitions, painting rooms. You know, I think the district is very fortunate to have these people on board. One thing I say about the position that I'm in is it's always an adventure. No matter what I have planned for a day, I know it's going to change at the beginning and going to be a different outlook throughout. Next month, we have to get the elevators inspected. The boiler systems have to be inspected through the state. And we also, the states they continually come up with different programs as far as water testing things. A major lead testing and things that you see, we've gone through, we repaired the things or done away with the things that we had to do. But now the states come up with a thing with if you have a drilled well, you've got to go and do at least 5 tests every year for another lead test. So I'll be doing that hopefully within the next week or 2 over at the primary school, and hopefully everything comes back fine with those tests. I'd like to finish by thanking all who help. All the ones that will help, the principals, the directors that I work with daily. And it does hurt me to say that I also have to thank Chris for his help and guidance in some of the technologies. He has helped me. I know I'm great at technology, but it's taken him a while to even show me how to run the phone, so I do have to thank him for that. The office staff, the ladies that work in the office there, Laura, Brenda, Crystal, Shirley, Regina, Sherry, they just are always fabulous, always willing to help with a smile. That makes your day go so much better. Lastly, I'd like to thank yourself and Scott, the ones who keep the district on course and give support to all of us. My quote, and I'm not going to be sure if I'm going to give any more quotes. People say, you're going to give a quote at the end. Well, I am today. And this is a quote that has an unknown author. I'm sure probably Scott knows this quote. He'll probably say, I know where that comes from. But it is one that fit. I felt this week, I see it, and I'm just going to give it to you anyway. And the quote goes, when the world says give up, hope whispers, try it one more time. And that's my report. Thank you.
Lynn?
In the spring of that gentleman came to the fence, we sent him a thank you. He
Mhm.
didn't want to contact information. I think we should do that, and then let them know that we have the contact.
Okay, if you send me an email or something, if I get your thing, or I can have Laura, somebody send you I'll send you that. Okay, and I'll.
Pat?
Ken, I just wanted to thank you and let you know that yesterday when there was some soccer games going on out back, there's other activities going on. AYS was playing out on some of the fields, and I heard plenty of parents say how nice everything looked, how the field looked striped up, grass cut. Just in general, I'm pretty sure that they were alluding to how good the school looked, and I appreciate hearing those things. I didn't, really say anything back to them. I agreed with them, but it's really good that people can notice those things and everything looks sharp. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any money to send to that guy? It'd be nice to do that again.
I don't think he's going to take it. I did go out and talk to him in length this time of year, he was just so pleased. It took me probably 2 months to get him to take the money the last time. And because I realized that we really probably want to give him some. And finally, he got me a bill, and gave me the outline of what he spent, and I did give him a check. I'll certainly ask him again, please, just send me the thing of what it costs you for paint, but.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, Holly, sorry. We could put that in the card. Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. Norma?
Hello. I survived the first 6 days of school. I just have a few things to report. We had several buses that only had one camera on them, and they were outdated. So we had cameras installed this summer by TID, Yankee Communications. That was bus 19, we installed 2 cameras. Bus 27 and 29, we installed 1 camera on each of them. Some of them we had old cables and cameras, and they made them so we could use them. So that saved us some major money. Next week, we're gonna add 3 more buses with cameras. These will include windshield bus cameras. So that will help us when people are running lights. We'll be able to get some information on them. I actually had, after I typed this up, I actually had a gentleman call this afternoon. That was, his son goes to a local daycare, and he witnessed more than one car run the lights this morning. And he's talking to he didn't say who the company was that he worked for, but he wanted to address his company and see if they would buy us camera for our stop signs on all the buses, which is like $2,500 a piece. So he's gonna keep me informed on that. So he said that he works for a huge company. He didn't give me the name of the company. I didn't really get a lot of information from him, but he said he was gonna look into it. So I told him the more information we got from him about the cars running the lights, and it was actually Route 4 North J where the car ran the lights, which is a really bad area. So he said if he has to sit out there every day and take plate numbers, he's gonna get it done. So there's that. And then we also had both bus 1 and 4, both had significant rusting and corrosion under what they call the side panels by the top of the seats. That year, I didn't write down the year, but they stopped making them that way. So bus 6, the next bus after that, didn't have as much damage. Chad at Bailey Brothers did I forgot to email you guys pictures, but I can tomorrow. The before and after pictures, he did an amazing job fixing that, because the state police, that was one of the first things they checked when they got on our buses, because they're known for it. And yeah, so I had him send before and after pictures, and you can't even tell there was an issue. What happened was the moisture was getting caught between the sidewalk and the padding, so they don't make the buses with the padding anymore. So now we're waiting on some paint restoration. The brand new buses we got last year, they're already rusting on the back doors, the exit doors, some of the quarter panels. It's all covered under warranty. So I call them on a weekly basis to get our buses in. Still waiting. Might actually have Hilltop gave us a quote because the warranty, W.C. Cressy said that we could go with Hilltop. It's just Hilltop is not even looking at us till spring. So if they're gonna wait till spring, I'd rather wait till summer, because then we don't have to worry about, need the buses, actually. So then we had 5 seat bolt recalls on the new buses. So we have still 1 bus left down to Cressy. They were really good to me. They came and drove the buses back and forth for us. Also, obviously, that was paid for, so I didn't have to pay anybody to do that. We still have 1 bus left down there, and that's because they ran out of the parts, because we weren't the only ones that had that recall. So that's being They said the parts should be in hopefully tomorrow, and we'll have our bus back next week. And then we had our bus state inspection on July 18th, and we had a fantastic inspection. They were only here 2 to 3 hours. They had our whole fleet done. That says a lot for them being here that quickly. There's 4 of them. We had a small amount. We had 4 drivers and myself and Ron, our bus maintenance guy, help us out driving the buses in and out. The state police were very happy. We had 5 buses that they put out of service, but they were fixed within the 2 hours and brought back. There were very minor things, like an air leak was just an air hose. I have all the state inspection reports if anybody wants to look at them. That is a huge, huge thing for our fleet to have that good of a report. It's huge. I mean, we have new buses, but still new buses get broken lights, and it just goes to show you what Bailey Brothers is doing for us, because it's huge. That being said, Chad at Bailey Brothers, I sent his supervisor a letter that, telling him what a great job he was doing. So then we are still looking for a couple of bus monitors. If anyone knows anybody that's interested in 10 to 15 hours a week, I could use 2 more bus monitors. And bus 17 is removed out of our yard. It was out for bid. And that was removed, I think, 3 weeks ago. And that's it for me.
Any questions, comments? Chantel?
I just want to say that as a parent with anxiety, I appreciate so much. Every time I call transportation, which first day of school, buses are running late, I'm home, I call them. You guys are always so sweet. Like, I know I have like 95 parents calling, where's my kid? I know you guys have to go through that, but every single time I call, you guys are just, we understand, hey, here's what's happening. Like, as a parent, I really, like, I love calling transportation. Like, I don't want to, but it's not one of those, like, oh my gosh, I have to call them type of things. Like, just because.
Oh, thank you, but I'm not always nice. I know I get short at times. I apologize.
Pat?
I too want to echo appreciation for transportation. It's a tough job. I said this last year and the year before, at the beginning of the school year. We all go through summer. Sometimes people forget, about the buses and the slow speed limits and things like that. And maybe not so intentional. People are rushing around. And if they're dropping their kids off, the mentality isn't as open to the school buses and their presence. I've personally witnessed at the primary school where it's a little tight, where the buses come in and parents are also coming in. Parents aren't being as respectful to the school bus drivers as they should be. The school bus drivers have a much harder job. They are in a bigger vehicle, and they've got the kids. So parents have to kind of also take a look at where those buses are and be mindful of those things, and kids popping out through parking lots. Bus drivers are doing a fantastic job, and they're doing the best that they can. We don't need to make it any more dangerous by being less mindful.
Thank you for that. And I want to thank Ken and Sean, because I couldn't do it without them too. They helped me out tremendously. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. Robin?
Good evening. Most of our fall workforce classes will begin on the 13th. We filled both culinary and the CMA classes. The Culinary Cafe will be back in action the first week of October. I'm half joking when I say this, but if anyone wants to be a volunteer DoorDash driver, we have had a request to deliver meals to the individual schools because teachers would like to partake in that. So, we have 18 people signed up for our substitute teacher training next Tuesday, so I'm really hoping that we get some solid substitutes into our district. We're still actively looking for folks to work for LEAP and train for the job at no cost with us. Our class is slated to begin on September 20th, and registration is live on our website. Our CDL Class B will start in November. Our interest list is also up on our website and Facebook. We will be prioritizing students who wish to drive school bus in hopes to fill vacancies here. For grants, not great news, but we received word that our statewide partnership with UMaine Community College System and the Maine Development Foundation for the Build Back Better grant did not make it to the finalist stage. So this unfortunately does set us back with our child care initiative and the expansion for commercial driving, although I am still pursuing additional funding streams. And I just want to say thank you to Western Maine Community Action. They've been a very strong, steady, and patient partner in this planning process. We applied for this grant months ago, so it was kind of a waiting game, and then to get this news was a bummer, but we'll charge forward. On a more positive note, our digital literacy program has received support from 3 separate funders, the Maine Development Foundation, the Betterment Fund, and the Sewell Foundation. Our combined total for this project is $225,000. An ad will be placed for a county-wide computer literacy instructor. That will actually be housed at Franklin County Adult Ed, but I'll be helping, support this person. They'll be coming down to us for computer literacy classes, as well as going to Rangeley, Phillips, Kingfield, so all of Franklin County, Livermore Falls. And then I saved the best news for last. We found out that we were nominated and won a statewide award, so we are the Maine Champion of Workforce in Education. We've been, thank you. The award ceremony is September 23rd, and they have comped for tickets for all of us that work in adult ed, and I just wanted to ask the board if we can close for that Friday, September 23rd, and receive that award. They did have a camera crew that came out and filmed some classes, students. We have one student that graduated from the medical assistant program, our very first cohort 5 years ago, who is now going to be helping teach the class. So like a really cool full circle story. But we've been asked to not really publicly publicize that we've won this award until after the award ceremony. So I apologize. I know that. I know that you've been asking some questions about it. We've just been asked not to publicly put it out there just yet. So, okay. So after the 23rd, we'll have more information. And that's it.
Question, Lynn? No.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Who wants to stay? I just stay.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
So Pat St. Clair got in touch with me about the search committee for the middle school principal's job position. Lynn had reached out to me asking to be on the committee. Is there anyone else that has interest in that? Okay, so I've got 3 names here. I'll probably put your names in a hat and draw one. Go that way. I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay? And does scholarship have anything to talk about? You probably don't want to say names tonight.
We made our decision, but we're not going to release names until everybody gets a chance to find out. Nobody wants to have a meeting or be at
Yep. And you have your list of co-curricular appointments, hires, retirements, resignations. On September 13th, we have a policy committee meeting at 5 in the superintendent's office. September 22nd, regular school board meeting at the middle school. Finance is at 5:30. That's next meeting, Elaine. And there'll be a tour of the middle school after the conclusion of that meeting. And then on October 13th, our meeting at the elementary school, and again, there'll be a tour there at the conclusion of the meeting. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Lane, second Andrew. Oh, you have a question?
I got a couple of questions for Chris before we adjourn, if I can ask him. I got questions for Chris about his presentation. Chris Holland.
Not my
Is that something that can be done after the meeting, or is that, is it kind of beyond that? Okay, let's make it quick. Chris, I have a question for you, so.
Chris, the questions I got, you were talking about English language learners. Are we gonna have to create any more positions or add any more personnel to accommodate these people that could possibly be moving in, or is that gonna be determined as people show up?
It's determined by the plan that's put in place when they do show up and they're tested, but I would say the odds of us having to find somebody to help is pretty high. So I would say we probably will have to look for somebody that's gonna be able to help these students be able to, move around the school and help them with translation and things like that.
Okay, roll call on adjournment, please.
Yes.
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 Yes.